Hey, what's good everyone? You've probably heard by now, but Funkin has been updated several times in fact. Today I'd like to cover some of the changes made to our favorite Newgrounds rhythm game, and just talk about how different the game is now compared to the Week 7 release all those years ago. It's called playing catch up. Let's get into it. First and foremost, the visual when launching Funkin has been revamped. Where the original Haxflixel screen once stood is now a retro radio-esque asset loader. Honestly, I'm gonna miss the old Haxflixel jingle, but it's probably for the best since it did occasionally blast my eardrums right out of my skull. In the web version of Funkin, once the assets are loaded, there's a unique screen the player must click to actually start the game. This, and the loading screens between songs, exist so that the entire nearly 700 megabyte game isn't being loaded off of the Newgrounds server all at once per user. A preventative measure set in place when the Week 7 release crashed the site. Right away we're flung into Funkin, and there isn't much difference on the title screen. There is now an Easter egg when pressing left, right, up, down on the keyboard, which will make Girlfriend Technicolor and change the music to Girlfriend's jingle. This Easter egg is of course a reference to the first few notes of tutorial. Strangely enough, in different releases of updated Funkin, the song and color doesn't change, but instead creates a visualizer on the left side of the screen. Funkin now has its own unique UI and sound for the volume buttons, a feature that's been mentioned by devs pretty early into Funkin's development. Currently, there isn't much difference to the main menu other than a merch option leading to the Needlejuice store page for Funkin in place of the donate option that originally led to the Kickstarter, and the addition of credits that now play a pretty bare-bones scrolling text of everyone currently involved in Funkin, along with some honorable mentions. Other than that, the menus are pretty much the same, save for free play, but we'll get back to that. The first weekend is now a part of the story menu, a new side week I covered in my previous video, 10 Things About Nene and Darnell. While playing any of the game's songs, the player may now notice a few key differences and updates to the Funkin engine. First of all, the gameplay feels a lot smoother and responsive due to a fundamental change to the way that assets are preloaded and displayed, pretty much meaning that there's less lag and input delay. Visually, gameplay looks great too, with the splash notes previously seen in the Week 7 build now being joined by a similar visual for held notes. These held notes actually tally up the score smoothly now. Low accuracy notes, i.e. bad or shit accuracy notes, become ghost notes on the strum line when hit, giving visual indication that the note was barely missed. From a technical standpoint, anything below good accuracy when hitting a note counts as a miss when calculating the rank. Boyfriend still has his blue balls game over animation, but there's now a 1 in 4,000 chance of an alternate fake out animation. 1 in 4,000 is the same odds as running into a shiny in the Pokemon games. While playing, a small change can be seen in the score font, as the 1 has been changed to look less like a 7. The opponent and player's vocals now exist on their own vocal tracks, meaning that if the player messes up, their opponent won't stop singing like in previous builds. Opponents now actually hit their notes as opposed to the notes disappearing on the strum line like in the Week 7 build. Also, the camera is no longer controlled by whose turn it is to sing per bar anymore, and is instead on the event line of the chart editor. This is why the camera feels more dynamic during tracks, moving and zooming during songs in a natural progression, instead of the absolute tennis match it used to be. The pause menu now shows cycling credits for not only the musician behind the song, but also the charter. Restarting songs from the pause menu and game over screens show the notes that are currently on screen being wiped away as the song starts over. Now let's move on from the game's engine to some of the updates made to the main weeks and songs themselves. First of all, in Week 1, the old version of Bo Peep-O has been updated to the album release of the song. Many fans of Funkin had already heard this version of Bo Peep-O from their physical release Volume 1 of the game's OST, as well as digitally on Bandcamp where it was originally released. Week 2 is pretty much the same, but Skid, Pump, and Boyfriend now have a yeah animation at the beginning of Spookies. The next change is also small, as the Week 3 song Philly is now officially Philly Nice in the game. The original reason why the song was only called Philly was due to a missing character for space in the original Funkin font. Week 6 now has its own unique pause music, a chiptune/Genesis remix of Breakfast. Strangely enough, this week is currently the only one affected by the naughtiness option, replacing Senpai's dialogue between roses and thorns. Week 7's cutscenes are currently MP4s. This is why they're significantly quieter and lower quality than the Week 7 build. This is likely due to a change the way in-game cutscenes will work, and will probably be brought back to their past glory in a future update. Funkin songs and weeks now end in a results screen, a quick recap of how well the player performed during gameplay. There are technically 6 ranks, but 5 of them have custom results screen animation: lose, good, great, excellent, and perfect. Boyfriend's excited pose in his good result is based on Alien Hominid's results screen. Currently, Pico's songs use Boyfriend's results screen. There's also now a completely new free play menu. This menu is much more intuitive than a simple list of all the songs currently in the game, allowing for organization based on what letter or number the song starts with, as well as a list of players' selected favorites. Rec difficulty utilizes the free play menu by being its own section apart from the regular tracks when selecting that difficulty. Rec versions of base game songs are either Erect or Nightmare, allowing players to practice on a lower difficulty for Erect mode. These tracks also introduced a number of guest composers to the base game, like Kota Takahashi of Ridge Racer fame and Saruki and Saster from the modding community, all welcome additions to the free play menu. This is currently the only menu to have a smooth custom transition back and forth from the main menu as opposed to a fade to/from black. The fade animation is used much less in this update, instead using the new sticker transition. Each song in free play is accompanied by a cute icon of the opponent of the song, the difficulty rank with both a basic number and also a star rank above the album cover the song originates from, as well as BPM, the week the song originates, a new icon if the song was recently added, and a rank indicator once the song is complete. As stated before, there's 6 possible ranks, 2 of which are different types of perfect rank, standard and gold perfect, which is obtained by getting all 6 notes in a track. When being given their rank in the free play menu, Boyfriend will either celebrate if it's good or look embarrassed if it's bad. Boyfriend has a number of animations while picking a song. Boyfriend will DJ to whatever song is currently playing. Idling will cause Daddy Dearest to appear before going back to normal, but waiting even longer causes Boyfriend to start watching TV. The cartoons he's watching are actual Newgrounds submissions, and their file names are their entry numbers on Newgrounds. There are 24 different tunes for Boyfriend to flip through, so give him a listen and see how many you can recognize. Back before the Weekend 1 update dropped, we were given a teaser of the upcoming chart editor in the form of a blog post by Elite Master Eric. The original chart editor was pretty bare bones and minimalist, so to accommodate for charters, the editor was reworked to be fun as well as functional. If you want a more in-depth look at the chart editor, I recommend a previous video of mine covering the teaser, because honestly, it covered a great deal of the new editor. It's pretty powerful and very easy to understand. Even a guy like me, whose brain is smooth as an uncooked chicken breast, picked it up in only a few minutes. And that's everything new added to Funkin since the Week 7 update. Before we finish up, I just wanted to cover a few things we know are coming. The biggest, other than a few new weeks obviously, is the story mode menu. We haven't seen any teaser or anything, but we can assume it's coming based on the fact that weeks also get their own rank at the end, and the current story mode menu doesn't accommodate for this by displaying it. The new sticker transition only has stickers for Boyfriend, Girlfriend, Pico, Mommy Mirrors, Daddy Dearest, and Monster, but the folder they're in is called Stickers Set 1, implying the addition of more stickers for the transition in the future. The stickers depend on what song is being played when returning to the menu. Speaking of menus, the icons of the opponents next to their songs in the free play menu are probably going to be animated in the future. We know this since Phantom Arcade streamed himself drawing these icons and animating them. They'll probably go through the same pipeline as Senpai did, animated by Phantom Arcade, then made pixelated by Mowling. A number of animations made by Phantom Arcade on stream have yet to be seen in-game, like the death animation assumed to be used in Week 4 of Boyfriend falling and tumbling, and the Pico dance for his result screen. Actually, while editing this video, Phantom Arcade worked on the Pico animation, and it turns out it was just for fun before, but now it seems to be for the options menu.
I was talking earlier, I was just drawing this shit for fun. It's probably gonna be like, I could probably find somewhere to put it, like options menu, probably just like an options menu background.
The leaked note combo animation used in a couple mods is either not going to be in the game or reworked entirely. As stated on stream, Phantom Arcade just doesn't like the look of it in its current state. The hit, attack, and dodge animations still exist in Boyfriend's sprite sheet, but still go unused. There are confirmed upcoming mechanics beyond just pressing notes, but as of right now, they aren't implemented. Also, we still don't have a use for the song Give a Little Bit Back just yet, despite it being one of the oldest songs in Funkin's game files. My theory is that it's for an upcoming cutscene, but we'll just have to wait and see. And finally, ghost tapping still isn't in the base game and is likely never going to be. One of the biggest reasons we're receiving updates in patches instead of one large chunk is to get new game content into the player's hands in order to receive feedback. So get out there, talk about what you do and don't like about the game on social media, because the devs are incredibly receptive to creative criticism. And that, hopefully, is everything new in the Funkin update. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and until next time.